Without a show of hands, I would like everybody to think of someone they know or love that has been in jail or prison. And odds are for most of you, somebody is going to come to mind because the United States has a 1% incarceration rate, which means out of every 100 people, one of them has been incarcerated in jail or prison before. What this could mean is that a lot of people, 2.3 million people to be exact in the United States, could be in some pretty difficult situations should they face systemic discrimination after their release from jail or prison. And unfortunately for people all across this country stepping outside of those prison gates for the first time in we don't even know how many years, that's exactly what they're facing. Systemic, persistent, widespread discrimination in the housing and labor markets. This is mostly terrible because recidivism is a huge issue. Recidivism is the likelihood that an offender that's been released will reoffend within a certain amount of time. In July, the Bureau of Justice released a study that says 6 in 10 people released across America will be back in prison within 3 years. And 7 out of 10 of these people were rearrested within 5 years. Henry Crowell tells us that research has consistently shown that homelessness contributes to a higher risk for reincarceration. One study published said that 11.4% of 49,000 people released across the United States, 11.4% of them experienced homelessness within 2 years, and 33% of those people had returned to prison within that 3-year span. Something we can do to fix systemic discrimination in the housing market is a program called supportive housing. This combines an affordable housing approach with a wraparound, all angles covered resource list as well. Crowell later stated in his study that Utah decreased their chronically homeless population by 91% using their housing first approach. But all of the affordable housing in the world isn't going to matter if felons can't pay for it. A study done by Yale Law School showed that when examining the ban the box movement, which gets rid of that little box where people are asked, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And its effects on recidivism, employers who ask about prior criminal records are 63% more likely to call an applicant who doesn't have a criminal record than they are to call an applicant that does. That means out of every 100 employers that are given the choice between an applicant with a criminal record and an applicant without a criminal record, 63% of those employers will call the person without the criminal record. What this says to me is that we are telling the formerly incarcerated people of this society, we know we locked you in a cage for years of your life. It doesn't fix what you did. This is going to follow you the rest of your life. And personally, I don't see how that approach helps the formerly incarcerated reintegrate into society or prevents crime, for that matter. But you know what does prevent crime? Chemical dependency treatment. In a study done by Stefan Valenko in 1993, he showed that inmates who complete treatment and aftercare, only 8% of those people were reincarcerated within 5 years, as opposed to 39% who completed treatment but not aftercare, 45% who failed to complete treatment, and the control group of 50%. Treating addiction in post-prison culture is super important because 70% of people that are arrested have illicit drugs in their system at the time of arrest. All I'm saying is that we tell prisoners that when you go to prison, your debt to society is paid. Instead, we discriminate against them in housing, we discriminate against them in the labor market, and we wonder why they end up homeless and back in jail, doing the same things over and over again.